Sam Ovens gave me some amazing advice that actually completely changed my life. And I've got to be honest with you, when I first got this advice, it cut me right to the bone because it hurt and it was just a lot of home truths. Now, if you don't know who Sam Ovens is, he's a very, very successful entrepreneur who's built multiple successful companies and currently runs a $30 million e-learning company a year and is going on to build all sorts of other successful things. And I believe in this life we should always keep mentors around me. And I have about 6 or 7 mentors around me. And he is one of them, or at least he used to be one of them, who I would always learn things from, and he was in a position I wanted to get to as well. And I think that if you have these people in key positions around you in your life who are in positions where you want to get to, there's always so much to learn and it can really change the direction of your life. And I'm going to show you the clip here of me asking him a question and him giving me a question which actually didn't just answer the question, but actually completely changed how I ran my business, changed how I looked for opportunities in life, and changed how I got opportunities, and changed a lot of things and a lot of my perspectives. So this next bit that I'm actually going to show you is the clip from him. I've chopped it up a little bit to make it a bit more viewer friendly because it was quite a long clip, just so you can see like the key points out of it. So I really hope you enjoy this video.
All right, I can see Rob Lally's question. Hi Sam, loving the course and community. I am in the job interview coaching niche. I was speaking to a prospect on a 15-minute call, and when I tried to set up a strategy session, the prospect explained that he will be interested in being coached on interviewing after he has finished his studies in 18 months' time, as he doesn't see the point in doing it right now. How would you tackle this objection? Thanks in advance. Sure. Yeah, so I mean, he's not a fit. This isn't an objection. He just is not a good fit. So remember, our first job isn't to sell, it's to diagnose. And when if we diagnose someone and we think we can help them, then we should offer our services to them. Then that's fine, move on to the next person. It seems to me like you are just, the mindset you're in is a bit too scarce. You're like clinging to people. Most people aren't going to buy. That's the fact. And you just got to forget about them and move on to the next person. There's like 7 or almost 8 billion people in the world. I mean, you can just move on to the next one. No need to get hung up about one person.
So what Sam is talking to me about in this video is moving from a scarcity mentality to an abundant mentality. Now, I can already feel you rolling your eyes, and to a point I was as well, because every single self-help book, every single online personal development blog, good finance book, they always talk about be in abundance, just be in abundance and everything will go right. And I think that in practice, it's actually way harder to be in an abundance mentality than it is to actually just say it, right? You can't just suddenly change your mindset into an abundance mentality when you don't practically know how to do it or like what it will look like afterwards. And the example he gave actually completely opened up my brain because it was the first time somebody had actually said something about being in abundance that made sense and works in real life. So let's just break that down now. So first of all, when you get feedback like this, it is like a dash of ice cold water straight across you that kind of shocks you. And I think when you get feedback like this, like critical feedback, people have a tendency to either go inside themselves and get quite down about it, or they have a tendency to get quite defensive about it and not really take it on board and just think, oh, that's wrong, I don't believe in any of that. I think it's quite rare for a person to actually give you that deep level of feedback that I just got right there. So as soon as I got this feedback, I started questioning myself. I started thinking, are there areas in my life other than business where I have got like this scarcity mentality? And often we know that we have these problems or these issues with ourselves, but it takes for somebody we respect and for somebody we look up to tell it to us before we actually hear ourselves, before we actually understand. So when I started looking into my life about if there's any areas I am in scarcity, it completely blew my mind because I started to realize, like most areas in my life, I'm in this complete scarcity mindset. For instance, how many times in my business have I been chasing one specific customer, one specific client, and I'm just waiting for the deal to close, hoping it closes, hoping it closes, hoping it closes, and it doesn't close. And I've just got like eyes for this one person. How many times in my life have I applied for a job or maybe went for a promotion at a different company, and I've just been so fixated on this one company, this one job that I want to get, that I've just been in a real scarcity mindset. Thinking back to, my early 20s, how many times have I been specifically focused on dating this single person who I've got eyes for, and I've really limited myself because I'm just constantly chasing this one person, or maybe this one like network contact. And the list really could go on. And over the time and over the years where I've been working in high ticket sales, building up my business, I've learned the importance of keeping a pipeline, a sales pipeline. Now, if you're watching this video and you don't know what a sales pipeline is, I'll just briefly give you a quick description of it. A sales pipeline is essentially, if you picture like a funnel, and at one end of the funnel, you've just got like the general population of people. And at the other end of the funnel, you've got like the customers. All right. And a sales pipeline is essentially you sprinkling the general population into the top of the funnel, and they go through stages, right? Some of these customers, they are not interested in your product. They don't understand they have a problem you can solve. The second area of the funnel is maybe they are aware that they have a problem. The third area of the funnel is they are actively talking to you. The fourth area of the funnel, they are quite qualified to do business with you. The fifth area of the funnel is maybe they have just bought from you, they have become a customer. And you think about like a sales pipeline, it's like judging roughly how far along a particular person is in the particular process of you selling to them. But sales funnels don't actually stop there. They can actually be generalized to the rest of your life as well, in terms of opportunities, in terms of people, in terms of dealing with different types of groups. So I think one massive takeaway from this advice for me was be open to the fact that things often don't work out and you need a pipeline. In fact, statistically, most people aren't going to buy from you. Most people who, you want to date might not want to date you. Most job opportunities that you go for, probably you won't hear back from them, right? Which is why you need an abundance mindset and that shift from scarcity to abundance to understand there's 8 billion people, almost 8 billion people on the entire planet. There's countless opportunities out there. Instead of focusing on trying to close one single person in your business, that person that you really want on board, that client that you really want on board, focus on 100, right? Instead of focusing on applying for that one specific job that you really like, you've read the job description, you're like, I really like this job. Focus on going deep on 20 companies. Focus on learning everything about them. Focusing on applying for each of them and really putting your eggs in multiple baskets there and getting to know the company, getting to know like the people out of the company as well. And to give yourself the best chance that you can possibly do. If you're looking to maybe, network with someone, don't just focus on that one person. Pitch a bunch of people who you actually want to network with, who you actually think might be able to help you with your life or whatever. If you're looking to date someone, don't just focus on that one type of person. Open yourself up to that. Statistically, most things don't work out. And for you to be successful, you have to learn to scale. Now, if you were to actually look honestly onto your life and reflect on like the past, are there areas where you have had a scarcity mentality? I bet there are, because it affects everyone, right? And if there are, what I'd recommend you do, if you're brave enough, is just to write them in the comments below what specific area you have had like a scarcity mentality and what you can do to turn it around into an abundance mentality. And I am a firm believer that when you take action, even just something simple as writing it down or writing it in the comments section, like I did in that video with Sam there, I asked him the question, it was alive to me. We end up bringing things to real life. And when you bring things to real life, your brain starts trying to figure out how it can get around it. It's like that acceptance, isn't it? So write it in the comments what you think you are, in a scarcity mentality of, and see how you can adjust that into an abundance mentality. And just remember, there's 8 billion people on the planet. They managed to put a, spaceship on the moon, okay? And if you think that these people have, there's somewhere in the world somebody's figured out how to put a spaceship on the moon, right? Your obstacle, your problem, it probably can be solved at some point if we just switch that thinking over to having an abundance mentality and remembering that there's lots and lots of opportunity, more than enough to go around. And this is exactly what I did in my business, and I ended up seeing massive increases in things like people who are interested, the amount of calls I booked, the amount of people that actually jumped on a call with me and then bought from me as well. And the same thing for meeting different people and networking with people. As soon as I realized, like, oh, damn, these people who I've specifically targeted that I wanted to interact with, and I thought that I could help them and they could help me, they haven't really answered me. As soon as I switched that thinking around to, Rob, let's stop focusing on that one person. Let's actually focus on the whole planet, right? And see, like, there's tons of people out there who can actually help you and might be in a better situation than these guys that you're trying to reach. As soon as I switched that around, then I started to be more abundant, and things really started to change and become really clear to me about how life is. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did enjoy this video, please leave me a like. Also subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. And I really look forward to reading your comments underneath about what areas that you've found that you're in scarcity and how you can switch it around to be in an abundance mentality. Have a great day. Take care.